Hi, I'm JD, and today what we're going to be doing is integrating a rational expression. I have one on the board. It is the integral of 5 over x parentheses x squared minus 49, and that's with respect to x. So if you would, pause the video and see if you can try to do this one. Alright, what you should have known is that if I try to integrate this just as it is, this degree of the lower of the denominator compared to the numerator, this has a degree of 3. This has a degree of, well, 0. So I can't use the natural log, right? If it was just the derivative of this, if I take the derivative of this and I get that in the numerator, then I can use natural log, but here I can't. So what you're going to have to do is use fractions. So you have 5 over x. Now factor this, x squared minus 49, that's the difference of squares. So that's x minus 7, x plus 7, right? You take the square root of this, x squared, which is x, you take square root of 49, you get 7, right? And the difference of squares indicate a sign change. So this is a minus and this is a plus. And since we're doing fractional decomposition, what you're going to do is you want numbers. So you separate the factors. So you have a over x plus b over x minus 7 plus c over x plus 7. Now what you're going to do is you're going to multiply both sides by the LCD. The LCD is this. When you multiply both sides by that, whatever's in the denominator cancels out. So you have 5 parentheses. Well, 5 in the whole denominator is going to cancel out here, but here the x's cancel out. So you're left with a x minus 7, x plus 7, plus b x plus 7, and then plus c x, and then x minus 7. Now let's do the work. When I do the work, I can plug in any number I want for x. So if I plug in, before I plug in any numbers, look at, if I plug in as like a 7 or a negative 7, or a 0, I'm going to get things that cancel out. And I'm going to get more than one term that cancels out. So this ends up being a really easy problem. So I let x equal 0. When I let x equal 0, this is 0 times whatever, which is 7, 0 times a negative 7. So this cancels out, this cancels out. When I plug in 0 into here, I get 5a, and this is going to be negative 7, positive 7, when I plug in 0. So this is a negative 49. So a negative 49 equals 5. I divide both sides by negative 49. And I get a equals 5 over negative 49. So I'm going to write that here. A equals 5 over negative 49. Now, if I let's say I want everything to cancel out except for this middle term right here. So what I can do is I can plug in a positive 7. If I plug in a positive 7, I get 0 here, 0 times anything is just 0, so that's going to cancel out. If I plug in a -7, wait, I said +7. If I plug in a +7 here, nothing cancels out. If I plug in a +7 here, those cancel out. So if let x equals +7, I get 5 equals +7 cancels this out, +7 cancels the c out, so I'm left with the b. The b is 7 times, and that's 14. Now 7 times 14 is 98. So b equals, or sorry, 5 equals b times 98. So b equals 5 over 98. Now, if I plug in a -7, this cancels out, this cancels out, and I'm left with this guy over here. So let x equal -7. So I end up having 5 equals -7 minus 7 minus 7. Let's see. So it's c times -7. That's a -7 minus a 7. Now this is going to give me -14. -14 times a -7 is a positive. So 98, again, 5. So c equals 5 over 98. Alright. Now what you're going to do is, first, if you haven't done this already, copy this stuff down, pause the video. Alright. Now you can see why I put my work over there. Normally you don't have to do that because you're not using a whiteboard, you're using a notebook paper, so you got more room than I do. Alright, so then you just do substitution. You're going to take this, what you found for A, B, and C, and replace it with this whole big mess over here. So you have, and what you can do is you can separate in the process. So you have 1 over x dx, and that has that 5 over -49. I can just bring that to the front. So it's 5 over -49 plus 5 over 98. Again, you can see how I just bring it to the front. 1 over x minus 7. Looks like my marker is fading, so I'm going to have to use a substitute marker. Hopefully this one works. Yep. So I have 1 over x minus 7. Then I have plus, can't forget the dx. The summation of, again, I can take that 5 over 98, bring that to the front. So I have 1 over x plus 7 dx. Now, there are cases where if I have, told you in the beginning, if it's in the case of du over u, which means if once I take the derivative of u, the derivative of that is in the numerator, that is equal to natural log, sometimes I pronounce it when, natural log of the absolute value of u because of the restricted domain of logarithmic functions plus c, and c is the constant of integration. So what I can do now is just do that for each one. So now I have 5 over negative 49 natural log of x plus 5 over 98 natural log of the absolute value of x minus 7 plus 5 over 98 natural log of x plus 7, the absolute value, plus c. And again, that's it.